Menopausal and perimenopausal women, listen up. It's time to take control of your health and comfort, and Winona is here to help. Winona is a telemedicine company for menopause care who believes that your symptoms are real, important, and deserve to be taken seriously. And for many women, this starts with hormone replacement therapy. Winona's HRT is made with plant-based, bioidentical hormones rather than synthetic ones, so it better aligns with your body to offer relief from hot flashes, weight gain, and other uncomfortable symptoms. 80% of women who use Winona find relief within just 90 days. So, what are you waiting for? Get started today. Visit buywinona.com today to start your free visit. With free shipping and the ability to pause or cancel at any time, your path to wellness has zero obligations. Use code SPRING24 at buywinona.com for 25% off your first treatment plan. That's BYWINONA.com for 25% off. Winona. Menopause care made easy. Summer is the season of hot temperatures, outdoor adventures, and refreshing water activities. Summer is also the season of rough on your feet, causing dry, cracked heels and toes. Introducing Babyfoot, the original exfoliation foot peel that contains 16 natural extracts formulated to remove dead skin cells in 3 easy steps. Apply the booties, relax for an hour, then wash your feet. In 14 days, you've got baby smooth skin and your feet have never been softer. Letting dead skin cells build up over time is hazardous to your foot health. Our professional-grade DIY products, like our original exfoliation foot peel, our men's foot peel, or our moisturizing mask, are some of the best foot care products on the market, created with your foot health in mind. Pamper yourself with a spa day from the comfort and convenience of your own home with Babyfoot. If you want a chemical-free, easy-to-use exfoliating process from the company that created the original foot peel, it's time to treat yourself to Babyfoot. Go to babyfoot.com and use the code SUMMERFEET24 and get 20% off your first order with Babyfoot. That's babyfoot.com and use the code SUMMERFEET24.
Hello and welcome to Too Stupid to Live, a podcast that reviews romance novels $5 and under. I'm your host, Becky Feldman. Now, we all know what Too Stupid to Live means in terms of romance novels. It's usually meant as a heroine who makes ridiculous, unbelievable choices, just so the male hero can save her. But here's the thing, sometimes I describe myself as too stupid to live, particularly when I find myself almost being the key word here, getting roped into things that I don't realize are multi-level marketing schemes or pyramid schemes and possibly even cults. So that's why it feels like today's episode is double stupid. And by double stupid, I mean double special. So a while back, my guest went on a hunt for a romance novel that takes place in an MLM company, and she told me that there are these online communities of anti-MLM creators that are exposing these fraudulent companies, but she can never find a romance novel. Arguably, she still can't, but that's okay. But I think she came pretty darn close with today's book. That book that we are reviewing is The Opportunity by Ian Shrouth, which is currently 99 cents. Now, before I introduce today's guest, I have some very exciting news, especially if you, like me, are in your organizational era. This holiday season, Too Stupid to Live has a sponsor. Yes, we are being sponsored by Smart Labels, QR code stickers that comes with an accompanying app that easily catalogs all of your items you put in storage. I know a lot of people like listening to podcasts as they do mundane household chores. I'm the same way. So I am sure one of you right now at this very moment is hearing my voice, saying these words as you are doing a common task that people do this time of year. And that is looking for your holiday decorations and trying to remember where you put what when you put everything away last year. Like, I literally heard you groan as you opened a bin thinking, yep, this is where my Christmas lights are, only to find that it's a bunch of charging cords for your old Blackberries. Why are you saving those? That's not the point. Look, the point is that Smart Labels can do this remembering for you. You buy a pack of Smart Labels QR code stickers on Amazon, slap one on the bin, and use the Smart Labels app to catalog each thing you put away. Then the next time you look for something, all you have to do is search in the app and it will tell you exactly where you put it. The process is so easy and it will save you a ton of time. It's like a table of contents, but for your life. To order your first pack of Smart Labels, check out the show notes or visit the episode page at tstlpodcast.com. Okay, now let's introduce my very special guest today. Joining me to review The Opportunity is podcaster, book blogger, and the person I always go to, like number one person when I need a book recommendation or a TV show recommendation. The delightful Laura Yamin is returning to the show. So please enjoy this review of The Opportunity. Laura, welcome back to Too Stupid to Live. Are you interested in being your own boss?
All the time. I've been wanting to be my own boss since circa 2009. As I was getting out of 12-step recovery, and I was like, oh my gosh, I can be my own coach and talk about my eating disorder recovery and heal others.
Mm-hmm.
Do not do that. Please do not do that.
Yeah. It's so backstory. I had a friend on this show. We had reviewed a very fun, very adorable billionaire romance book, but she had originally asked like, "Oh, do you think there's anything out there that's like an MLM romance novel?" And so I asked, we're all on the same text chain, and so I asked, and then all of a sudden we just became obsessed with finding an MLM romance, and we finally found it, which is what we're reviewing today.
Yeah. Yes, I actually, just for the listeners, I've been knee deep into MLM, anti-MLM, and just observing as a lurker, as one does, down the rabbit hole of all things MLM for about a year. And I've been just even deeper into the rabbit hole for about a month and a half, listening to YouTube long form content. So I have ranks, I have ideas, I have grifters, I have scams. And for the listeners, I also do, in my day job, I do investigate fraud. It's not related to MLM. It's not related to it, but I feel like it's just like I'm meant to consume this kind of content, and I just have a lot of thoughts.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like we should just like get into it, but it was just interesting because like we read the book and I'm like doing research. Not doing research, I was just doing my curious like internet searching spirals, and it's like, whoa, that's an MLM? That's an MLM? Like that's what it was. It was just like company after company. I'm like, I've seen this before. Like someone from high school like reached out to me before about this, and I like didn't put it together that like, oh, all of these things are MLMs.
Yeah. Yeah, all those things. I think it comes down to MLMs have been around for a long time and all that stuff, but in the 2010s and stuff like that, where kind of like there was a resurgence of the girl boss era, where you know millennials were like, we're out of recessions, we're underemployed, we're like, dude, we need a side hustle. And so MLMs became a prey for that, and a lot of them were like, you can use social media to sell your things, you can talk about it. That's where the Facebook live parties happened. That's where like selling leggings, selling this, and there was like a promise that if you recruit or if you sell, but it's mainly recruit, if you have people under your business, because you're a business owner, there's this whole girl boss idea, like you're a business owner, then you're going to have financial freedom and you're going to work from home. Because that's the other part. It's like an office. They make office jobs like horrible jobs, and like corporate, like it's the most horrible thing you can do. And yet you're working 24/7 from a hospital bed.
Yeah.
Well, giving birth to a baby, or even just like having treatment, like you're selling in your phone.
They're just like, hang on one second, I need to sell these pants and then I'll push, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. And like they'll go to these corporate, it's like cosplaying. They go to corporate meetings, they have team meetings on Zoom, and they go and like do all these different things. And they're like, I'm in the hospital. She's like, go, you go, girl. You're working your business all the time.
It is so sad because it's like I enjoy watching cult documentaries. I am fascinated by cults, and I mean I've seen like the LuLaRoe.
Yeah.
I've seen that one. I've listened to like This American Life on like different stories about like different like pyramid schemes and things like that. And I've almost been like roped into them, of course, because like I live out in Los Angeles. I'm a struggling actor and writer. You see something that says be your own boss, make your own hours, and immediately you think, oh, now no one will yell at me if I have to leave for an audition. I'm gonna, buy this or do this. It's very, very like, it is cult-like. It is very cult-like.
So I did sell at one point because I was in my early business girl boss era journey at 2010. This is the era. And I thought the idea of selling stripping and cooking classes. And I was like, what better thing to do than just add sex toys to it? So I found a sex toy MLM. And basically it was like this whole scheme about like how to recruit people, how to get parties, how to do this. And I had the products. I think I got rid of the products like fairly, like I think like later on, like quickly. But I lasted for like 6 months and to the point where I went to another cult because I was involved in every cult that's possible.
Sure, yeah.
Personal development was all about culting.
Hmm.
And so I was like trying to like, I'm selling sex toys, sex positivity. Even though at that time I did not know anything about it, I did not believe it. I was like, what am I talking about? But I was like, you're just living the dream because if you sell these things, if you recruit people into your business, you're gonna have like this financial freedom. And what more can you ask? Financial freedom.
Yeah, and it seems like the CEOs of these companies, like they want to be, I don't know, they're selling financial freedom as the way they're set, like like they're saying believe in this God or believe in this like weird thing, and it's like like I feel like the top people of MLMs just want to be, just want their own religions, but are like not.
Yeah.
They don't have the stick to it this enough to actually, start the religion. They'll just do, oh, I'm just gonna phone it in and start an MLM. Start a religion, dude.
Some of them do include God. There's a lot of trad wife, a lot of God, like a lot of Bible verse and stuff like that.
Hmm.
And I have no problem. I'm a Reformed Catholic. I as a Catholic, I thought of converting to something else and then stuff like that. But I was like, whenever I hear the word God and like to the point of like, Bible verses and stuff like that, I'm like, I see it as a warning sign. I'm like, what am I getting myself into? Because most of these people are trolls on the internet. Like, it's
Hmm.
likely if you're seeing someone who's struggling, they'll like harass that person. And then you go back and it's like, it's a white woman with a Bible verse of God, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, Jesus told you to love somebody, like love your neighbor, and you're not doing that.
Yeah, yeah,
But they expect you to, like, you're gonna go to hell if you don't believe it. And like, no, none of
yeah,
that stuff. But that's pretty much like you see, like they're imposing like the idea of like you believe in me, and you separate yourself from others, separate yourself from like haters, so people don't care about you. They're in the wrong, you're in the right. Talk to us, listen to us. You're the only thing we have.
yeah. It's so scary because I feel like there's also, we're seeing it like influencers, like, is there a fine line between like influencers and like the stuff that they're selling? Like art and MLMs. Like I know obviously there's a difference. Like I know that Amazon isn't an MLM, and when you see an influencer, saying buy this from Amazon, blah blah blah. But there are some companies that use influencers, I think, right?
We do. So it's interesting. MLMs are the difference in affiliate marketing, which is what we see, or sponsor content from influencers, is that the influencer gets paid. Sponsor content, the influencer gets paid for the content. They get a flat fee for the work they do. They're not getting paid for recruiting people under their business. They're not getting paid for like doing extra work. Or the affiliate marketing, you just sell a link and you just make money. I do affiliate marketing. I just post a link on my blog and then I get somebody buys a link and that's it. But there's no like expectation of like you must buy this. I'm gonna call you. I'm gonna call like check on you. Did you use my link? Did you do this? Like, there's none of that. It's just like it's a really easy transaction. With an MLM, there's a transaction of like you're wanting to get them on the business. You either want them to go auto ship or flex ship so they can actually have a recurring membership. So then you get business from that because they have to have personal sales goals in order to unlock the money or unlock the free trips. Or quote unquote free trips, they're not free trips. They do get taxable. They're 1099, or they have to get people under the business and they have to have certain people. They have the compensation plans. It's kind of like a pyramid. If you have these many people on this leg, you're going to have this money coming in from the above. So that's where the top part earns money commissions from all the other people from above. The products are super expensive because they have to pay. There's someone they have to make the money to pay all the people from the company for that product. That's where you can get a shampoo much more cheaper than an MLM shampoo, or supplements like a shake, sorry, like a protein shake. You can get it from a non-MLM, you can get it at a much more cheaper cost because you're not paying for the legs and legs and legs of people under this corporation.
Right. So, like, it's interesting because it's like, okay, then what is the appeal of like a protein powder from an MLM? Like, is the quality better than the ones you can get at like GNC or something or Whole
So
Foods?
there, it's a marketing tactic
Okay.
because then you have peer pressure. You have these favorite influencers that you're following. You're telling their journey, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, you get to talk to them," because there's the appeal of a community. That's the
Mm,
part that we are missing. We've been like so conditioned to be in a place where we're living in our own silos. And so having this idea of community, they're like, you have these Zoom calls, you get to talk about people, you get to market your money. Like, isn't it fun to just make money out of your social media? And like we see many influencers make bank. Like they
mm,
make like good money. They're in a different income bracket than we all are. But to get to that income bracket, it took years to do that. It
yeah.
took like 10, 12 years, like day in, day out grounding work. And so a lot of people want to have that income bracket, but they don't want to do the work of doing that. Like in the long game of like, this is not a one-time thing. And so MLMs promise you, like, if you do this, you're going to be able to be successful. And like you're going to rank on these things and you're going to get like free car. You're going to get this, you're going to get that. Free car is not true. You do not get a free car. You just get a car payment and they lock you into certain
No.
cars. Like you cannot get like a whole like Hyundai, like a cheap
Mhm,
Hyundai. No, no, no. It has to be Escalade. It has to be like a Mercedes. Like it has to be like this high-end car that you're locked in a lease that you have to pay and you have to make, they give you a bonus rank. But if you don't meet that bonus sales or bonus ranking recruiting, you don't get the bonus, but you're still locked in. The car's in your name. So
mhm.
you have to pay for the car. So it's not a
Ugh.
free car.
No. And then also there's like upkeep with like gas and, maintenance.
Insurance,
Insurance, yeah.
like it's not, it's I don't know. They promise you something that is like it's not really true. And like
Hmm.
in order to be successful in MLM, you have to be in like the first person coming in. Like
Yeah.
the first few people coming in the rank, because then you become the someone's grandmother or great grandmother's downline.
Right. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. My MLM grandma.
Yeah. Like it's like sorority. It's basically sorority. Like that's what it comes
Yeah.
down to. Right? Like you're
Hmm.
just pledging a sorority and you just have to recruit new people for the sorority.
Yeah. It's so funny because like I realized that like, after reading this book and then henceforth doing just getting really, really like intrigued and doing research all weekend about it, like, oh, Facebook came around when I was in college and, as I was graduating college, Facebook was still very much new. And then you start having these Facebook pages, it's like, oh, cool. I can like be part of a Facebook group where like there was one where it was like, we smoke weed. We're so funny, blah, blah, blah. But then all of a sudden, like there were these Facebook communities that started revolving around brands. And then yesterday, I didn't realize I was like on the anti MLM, like content.org or whatever. And I see that all of these brands whose Facebook groups that I joined, that my friends invited me to, that was like, oh, whoa, she was trying to hawk me some protein powder. I didn't realize that.
Or a fitness thing or shampoo or something
Yeah.
else or leggings or like fitness wear. Like there's everything. There's an MLM for that. Like you may
Yeah.
be sucked in. You're like, oh, like this is great. I love the products. If you love the products, go look for YouTube or Google and just look at the product name and look up for dupe. And you're
Hmm.
probably gonna find something cheaper and in better quality than the MLM. Like my mom
Right.
even got sucked in for that. She was like, I'm gonna try to sell. And I was like, oh, do not do that. Do not get into that business. And I was like, and she was like, so, and like her skincare, she's like, I like the skincare. I was like, you can get the same skincare products for a cheaper price. Cause I'm like, you're on a limited income. Like you're not
Hmm.
gonna be spending money on like on other people's commission. So I got her to go find like the dupes. And I was like, here's it, and she's much better off,
Yeah. Yeah.
than
Hmm.
just buying that because the products are so expensive, but you're
Right.
not, it's not because they're like quality products that are just like they're worth the money. It's just like you're paying for other people's work.
Right. Yeah. You just have to pay because the cost that the company, and for some reason, but like a consumer thinks, oh, this is like one of, like when you see something that says not sold in retail stores, you automatically think, oh, this must be what the King of England uses. You know what I mean? Because like the King
Yeah.
of England doesn't just shop at Payless. You know what I mean?
But
Like,
some of them are moving away from a beauty counter, moved away from that MLM, and now they're selling in Ulta. So they're
mm,
screwing over their ambassadors. They call them in different places, but they're
right, yeah,
screwing them by selling them on retail. It's like, why would I go to ambassador if I can just go get it on Ulta? Like,
right,
so
yeah,
they're like, so it depends. So it's like, and that's the thing about MLM. It's like you don't own your business. You're a 1099 contractor. They can call you a volunteer, a salesperson. They can call you kind of like an ambassador or someone, but they're not you. They can shut down at any moment. They can tell you we're not going to pay you back for all your work. And 99% of the work that they ask you to do, which is what they see in this book, is unpaid labor that doesn't give you anything in return.
right, yeah, yeah. It's so interesting, like hearing that now because, like, you know, the writer strike just ended, the actor strike as of this record is still going on, and like a
Yeah.
lot of the you are expected to do a lot of unpaid work, you know, like in general to like achieve your dreams. And it's just this given in society of like, oh, if you want to achieve this, you got to do all this unpaid work, but eventually you'll get there. But it's like, it feels like no, in many cases, no one's getting there. And then you're just like
Yeah.
out of money and you have a nice car that you can't pay for.
Yeah. Yeah. And like that's where it comes down to. It's like, is it worth the unpaid labor?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
and you have to take into account like your own personal goals and personal vision and personal values and like how you want to spend your time and like what's important to you right now, because maybe it was important 10 years ago. 10
Hmm.
years ago that was important for me to be financial freedom and
Yeah.
to like, time freedom and those different things. And like, I that was important. And then things shifted, things happened, I grew up and I like figure out like different things and I achieved that area in a different space. But my values are different. Like,
Hmm.
am I gonna buy into a cult? Like, I now look at cults from like an outside looking in.
Of
But
course.
I got in debt. Like, I got like $30,000 in debt
Wow.
for all this like cultish, like, selling a dream kind of shit.
Hmm.
Like, and like now getting out of debt is like, oh yeah, no.
Yeah, don't want to do that. Well, it just like it seems like, you know, because like when you say like, oh, I wanted financial freedom, then I wanted freedom, that like we always want freedom. Like that's like no matter where we
Yeah,
are in our life, like you're saying you're offering good things that like, okay, even if like I, you know, maybe don't have a lot of money, just the idea of freedom and making my own choices and all of this, like I want that from the time I was born till the time I die. Like,
yeah.
and it's like that's how they like reel you in, you know?
Yeah, it's like really like a real thing, and like they sell you a dream, and you're like, and you have to be discerning,
Yeah. And I
and
just think,
like
yeah. And when you're younger, you're not discerning. I can attest
yeah,
to that. Yeah.
and even when you're older, you may not be discerning. You're like,
No.
I'm struggling. Like, I want to be a rich housewife. Like, I personally, that's my aspiration. I want to be a rich housewife with
Yeah.
financial autonomy. But to get to that place, I have to be like, I cannot buy like another get rich quick scheme because these
Right.
are just get rich quick schemes. It's like playing the lottery or like doing all these different things, like trying to like will the universe to be like, okay, I have the money or I have to act abundant and actually the money comes in to, act as if and all the stuff is gonna happen. Like sometimes you just like don't it doesn't work that way. Life
Yeah.
doesn't work, the way you want to control it.
I know. And everyone's telling us that it can. Okay. We got to talk about this book.
All right,
Let
let's talk about the
me.
book.
Okay. So, what we reviewed was called The Opportunity by Ian Shrouth. I'm going to
I
say
think
his name is.
so.
It is currently 99 cents. So, here's a quick summary that I wrote. Intrigued by being her own boss, Allie gets involved in a business opportunity that comes with a pretty enticing bonus. And his name is Hayden. But his chiseled bod is so much of an upsell, Allie doesn't realize that the tent shape she's encountering isn't the one in Hayden's pants. Nope, it's the pyramid scheme she's gotten roped into.
It's a pyramid scheme. Oh my god.
Okay. So I think we should start off with saying that, like, This book is like, you were talking earlier about like how there's all of these like YouTube content that's like anti-MLM content. I imagine this book falls into anti-MLM content more so than romance than a romance novel.
It is. He mentions Savannah Marie, which is an anti-MLM content creator that Ali watches. And I'm
Mhm.
like, if Ali watches Savannah Marie, she will know that this MLM that they're selling is an MLM and it is not good. So it's basically anti-MLM content. It's a first draft, not even a first draft,
Mhm.
because not it doesn't have complete sentences. As someone's idea of like there's a need in the market for romance for MLM. And
Yeah. But an emphasis on romance, because that was like my main thing about the book. Like, I think it's really interesting to like use art and use whatever to in comedy or satire to like make fun of MLM, but it's like, well, do it full out. And this book doesn't do it full out. Like, I
yeah,
don't,
it's not a
it's
romance.
not a
It's not a
romance.
romance. It does
Yeah.
not fall into the rules of romance. There's no HEA. So,
Hmm.
it's not like it's someone who thought that I felt that this book was someone who was like, I've been watching enough YouTube content on how to make low content Kindle material. There's quite a few of those,
Hmm.
and it tells you it's a good get rich quick scheme. You just write a simple book, sell for 99 cents, or put it on Kindle Unlimited if it's a lot of pages, and make thousands of dollars.
Right.
And we're,
Yeah.
and we're going to talk about MLM. It's going to be a bestseller because it's an MLM,
Hmm.
category.
Exactly. Yeah, yeah. And I think like it felt like it's like, okay, yes, in this world romance is one of the top selling genres. So it's like, okay, what's going to get me the most exposed about with my MLM content? I'll write a romance novel, but like it was clear that like this wasn't a romance novel. It wasn't written like
It was written by a man.
it was written by a man. Yeah, let me just say that first. Not that not men can write romance novels, but like, and I don't want to like
But
speak for this writer, but it did feel like he's never read a romance before. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Of what what you're supposed to do. And it's like, I understand the point. Like, I understand you're being satirical and you're trying to make a thing, and it's just the fact that this exists is your statement. But you have nobodies like me who wants to read hot shit, and I wanted to read.
the sex was cringeworthy. It was
Oh,
like, oh, it's sex written by a man. Like, this is what I think women likes. And it was just like cringeworthy to the next level. Like dick pics,
hmm,
like public bathroom sex, like things I'm like, yeah, no. And this only took place in a week, and it
hmm,
escalated really fast
yeah,
over and over and over. I was like, it's someone who did not know character development,
hmm,
understood the plot arc, the reason why. Like, it just basically was like, I just wrote kind of like my own version of like a really low content book,
yeah.
and I think this will be sexy, but it's not.
No, it's not sexy. And it's like, there was also a phrase that, like, when she was like fucking him and she's like, I got my guts rearranged, which was such a horrifying thing. As someone with guts, I was horrified.
So, like the sexies were so cringeworthy.
Yeah.
Like I was just like, and I don't, and if you have listened to me on Boobies and Newbies, which is another podcast that we're a friend of ours,
Hmm.
I don't read the sexies. I
Hmm.
skip them. I skim them over and stuff like that. No, I read these because they're so bad that I was just like, this is what men think that women like. Like,
Yeah. There were so many things about the sex, and then to the point where like the sex ends up God, I'm like, sex ends up like being an important plot point towards like the act 3 of like what when she goes off the rails. And it's like, um basically like it she feels a level of self-consciousness that really only like men feel. You know what I mean? Like, that's like, it's not scientifically possible what happens, which, whatever, even if that were the case. But it's like, oh, like, again, like, I feel like this book would have been so much more effective if it was written like I wanted a real romance, and then I wanted to read a romance and then be like, oh, interesting. MLMs are really bad. I also got that out of this book. I wanted
Yeah.
first chapter. I wanted a who, what, where. The stuff that comes with a beginning,
Like
middle, and end.
you could actually have like you can have like your boyfriend was cheated with your MLM offline and have
Mhm.
a whole thing about how you got out of it, and then find somebody else and be like, MLMs are bad, and I'm gonna teach you the ways to go it and have it much more cringeworthy. But like this idea of you sleeping with your grandfather offline, your grandmother
Yeah. You sleeping with your grandfather is not. Why? I just had deja vu. Is that so weird? Oh my God. Why did I have deja vu? Oh, I'm thinking of Salt Lake City and Mary
yes,
Cosby.
yeah,
Okay.
very crossy.
Yeah, that's probably what I'm thinking of.
Your step grandfather.
Yeah, step grandfather, excuse me.
But yeah, like like you're like it's just yeah, like no, this is
Yeah.
not good. Like I please skip the 99 cents. I thought this was a real book because I saw that he invested in an audiobook, and when you
Hmm.
invest in an audiobook, you actually have to pay for that.
Yep. Hmm.
And so I was like, oh, this is a real book. There's an audiobook for this. Like
Yeah,
they
and I thought so.
invested.
There was a cover too. Like there was, like I know it was like stock photo, but the cover seemed legit. Almost. Well, I take that back.
No,
Almost legit.
no, that's a low content. Like, that's a more like we're trying to get you to buy it.
Right. I've seen worse covers before.
Yes, yes.
And I've definitely seen better covers before. So I was surprised that like
The sentence were not complete. There was ellipses for most of them. Text messaging did not make sense. Like, it was just like, yeah, like,
it felt like he forgot to upload maybe 7 chapters from like the
yeah.
second half of the story. Cause like there were things that were
It
happening that I was like, what?
escalated. Like, we got trigger warnings galore. Like the trigger warnings that we got to talk about.
Hmm.
It escalated from like depression to like institutionalizing
Yes.
in no
It
time.
it gets insane. So I guess like the thing we're kind of like circling around is that like she's like, going insane. Well, I ideally like
She's
if
in a call. She works from home in a call center,
mhm
and she was scrolling her TikTok like anyone does while at work, and
mhm
sees a girl that she goes to school and says that she has an application to join her team or her join her business, and she goes to her class and tells them like, hey, what is this? And then the class is like, Emmons are bad and blah blah. And they have a class discussion about it, and the girl gets annoyed, and she goes back and she's like, but she meets this other guy who
mhm
also works in MLM, and says like, hey, would you be interested in my business opportunity? She's like, I'm interested in you, so
yeah.
maybe I can go for the business opportunities. So it was kind of like a side deal. Like she was just like, I had a crush on you, I might as well. And then they
Mhm.
rope her in this whole MLM.
Which is honestly it's a good premise. It's a very good premise for a story.
Yeah,
Like I clearly relate to that. Like a lot
yeah,
of people do. Getting involved in something bad because of sex and the sexy boy being into you.
yeah.
I get it. But there were things like that were so inconsistent where it was like, she would be like, oh, that's a red flag, but then still do it. And then like it's like where's your headspace, Allie?
And
Like
I
what do you
think
believe in right
that's
now?
okay. I think that's okay to be an 18-year-old because she's like a college
True.
student. So
Yeah.
like I used to work in my other life back in the day. I
Hmm.
used to work with 18-year-olds. And so 18-year-olds are kind of like an interesting dynamic because they're adults, they're considered
Hmm.
adults. They really are not adult. Like you're still
Sure.
trying to be you're not fully settle into what you want. And so you have all these opportunities and you're trying to figure out. And so you're dibble dabbling, you're kind of like iffy, make it, and you think you want it to be taken seriously, but at the same time you're like really not taken seriously. It's
Hmm.
kind of like a little bit of both. And so
Totally.
she's acting like an 18-year-old. I'm not like that's fine. With 18-year-olds, it's like very dramatic sometimes.
Hmm. True.
But
Yeah. But like from like a quality standpoint,
oh no,
like
it's yeah.
like I feel like again like I and with like you do need to see like the kind of like the fun and games and the good qualities of being involved in this world before she goes on this like tragic downfall, you know, like let's see her with like the new car, like let's see her with like the, you know, ching 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 ching, you know, like her
Yeah,
bank
or
account, like
recruit her first team member. Like do the recruitment. Like she barely got the pack. She barely even got the shakes, so she did not even like them.
they didn't even arrive in the mail yet before she was already out of there. And it was like, well, how long does it take for these things to ship? She's gonna have a whole garage full of protein
No, they
powder.
canceled them. They canceled them before she shipped. She
Oh,
was going
okay.
to cancel them and stuff like that, but they auto ship her on her leg. No, like yeah.
Oh
Like
my
I
god.
didn't like the products, but it's like you got all the wrappers and all these different things.
Okay, so then like, you know, she's getting involved and she's like sleeping with this guy who's quote unquote rearranging her guts, and then it's like they're hooking up and she this, and again, this is someone with gynecological anatomy. She orgasms quickly, within 7 seconds. And in this world, in this world of the opportunity, um, apparently women or people with gynecological
She
anatomy,
squirts.
they squirt. And but if you do it too early, that's bad.
Yeah.
That's considered to be of the utmost embarrassment, which I've never encountered in my reality before.
No.
I'd be I was jealous.
I was like, what is happening? I was like, first of all, that's 7 seconds. I was like, how?
I know.
There's no foreplay. There's nothing. Like how?
I was like jealous of
As someone
her.
who struggles to get to that place,
Yeah.
it's like how? There's no preparation, like whatsoever.
Yeah. It's
Like
like if not like, and it's like in reality, if that happened, that it would be like Jesus returned to earth. You know what I mean?
yes,
Like it would be like that's the most, like you're the most talented, impressive creature I've ever encountered.
yes. But the level like it was handing out orgasms like there was like no tomorrow for like random
Hmm.
reasons. Like it
Yeah.
wasn't just like it was just like orgasm, 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 and
Hmm.
dick pics, and I'm gonna get your big dick. I was like,
Yeah.
who would talk about that? It's like I'm gonna get the big dick right now.
Yeah, like it was just like not, it wasn't, these characters didn't feel real. And not that I was expecting them to feel real, but like they just like, there's a level of consistency that I think is lacking that makes me feel like a dupe for kind of like reading it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's like, am I the fool here? Am I the one? I
Yeah.
feel defrauded. I feel frauded or whatever.
I think it proved a theory for me. Like I struggle reading romance written by men. Other than
Mm.
queer men, like I
Hmm.
like queer men writing romance. I do like them, but straight, probably white men writing romance is just not a genre that I go for. Uh,
Yeah.
like
It,
it just,
yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what ethnicity, race, or the author is, but romance written by what I presume straight men doesn't sound that appealing right now.
No, and it honestly, like, it felt like all of this was written as a joke. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, the sex was written as a joke, and it's like, okay, yeah, like, I'm sorry, but like, Chuck Tingle's been doing that. Like, why are you recreating what Chuck Tingle does so well? And then,
Yeah.
like, if you did want to write like good sex, like I reading, like, you know how every year there's that list that comes out that's like the best, the best slash worst sex scenes written by men in
Yeah.
books. You know what I mean? And it's like, at least with that they're trying. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And this he didn't
This
even try.
this was just like a bare minimum. This was just like
Yeah.
I just gotta pass the test. I gotta write some words. Somebody's gonna pay me 99 cents, and I'm gonna make some extra money. It's some passive income.
Yeah, passive income. See, there you go. Financial freedom, passive income. We're helping this guy out apparently.
With our $98 that we just paid.
Listen, he's probably making more money than, you know, a lot of people who, including myself, who
You
put
already,
stuff online.
you already pay for the audiobook. So yes, you probably is making some money from this.
Sure. Oh yeah, because it like you said, it seems like there is this huge like anti MLM community on Reddit, on YouTube, and all this stuff. So I imagine this person is probably a figure in that world.
Yeah.
So automatically he has people who are probably buying his
Yeah.
thing.
So if you're a listener out there, you're a writer, or want to be a writer, we encourage you to write an MLM romance. We encourage you to write something more with more substance.
Yeah.
And beyond the first draft, like have somebody else read it, get beta readers,
Mm-hmm.
get your
Mm-hmm.
friends to critique it, get your friends to just read it, like give you some feedback. Proofreading, you can get Grammarly for that too, because there's
I'll do it.
grammar errors were a lot were there.
If
Like
I noticed grammar errors, that means like, because I read a lot of these kinds of things, and if I notice like, oh, that's the most ridiculous type. Like there was one point where I'm like, that's a ridiculous typo. Like I think like there was like like the number two, and they were like spelling, so you know what I mean. Like it was like you didn't even like read which is fine. Like I've read like when we reviewed the Conquered by Clippy
yeah.
for the show, and it's like again like I would give me this book and I will do a pass on it. I will gladly do a pass on it. But it's like if you want to write a romance novel to help you like get your message across about satirizing whatever, write a romance novel. And
Do
if you
the
want
basic research of what is a romance
exactly.
novel.
Yeah, or like if
Romance
it
novel has like specific rules for the
mhm.
romance genre.
Yeah, and honestly, like a lot of the rules in romance novels are also just rules of writing in general, I think.
Yeah.
Of like a backstory, something happened, like three extra whatever, and it's like again, even if you just want to write erotica then, you know what I mean? And like do what erotica is supposed to do, which is to titillate and like did the
This was not
opposite.
titillating. This was this was not going to go to Spank Bank at all.
No, this made me scared. Like I was scared. This is a
I was
horror
like,
story.
I was like, oh, this is disgusting. Like not disgusting and like sex is disgusting. It's just like the whole expectation of women's anatomy and the women's
Yeah.
expectation of erotica, expectation of orgasms. Like I'm like, yeah, like no, it doesn't work that way. No.
No. And the thing is, I do appreciate how horny she was. Like I do think like yeah, like women have pleasure, like want pleasure, we want to have sex, we're horny when we're 18, all this stuff. But like it was just like there's no I wanted nuance. I wanted nuance in this book about an Emma.
Yes.
More nuance, please.
Yes. Yeah. So we will tell you to skip this book. Don't
Skip
read it.
it. Yeah. I will say here's one thing that I did like, and it's probably, and also it's something that as a writer he would be flagged for, but I did enjoy in a funny way that how everyone in this world, all of the stories everyone got is either committed fraud or is a victim of fraud. Like
Yeah.
she's like, bye mom, I'm off to school, and she's like, don't be like Aunt Jonas who was like got screwed over by Amway, and she's like, okay, bye. Or like it's like, hey, what are you doing? Hey, check out my Scentsy thing. Cool, Coke, sipping, blah.
It works. The other one, everyone was involved in some sort of MLM or some sort of related MLM related
Yeah.
opportunity.
Which
Like
is
it was.
so funny. I loved that. Like again, it's like that was so funny, and if you want to use that like as a satire, like commit.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Well, did this bring up like what kind of like about your experience, like what kind of things did this bring up for you as you were like reading it?
So I thought, like, I honestly, as someone who observes MLM content and enjoys this whole thing,
Mhm.
I appreciated the fact that it was like it's talking about the statistics and talking about like the pitfalls and stuff like that. There's more to be fleshed out, but I think it's important like to understand like, you do not need to be on your own boss. If you want to be your own boss, there are other ways to do it without scamming people.
Mhm.
And so this
Yeah.
is kind of like nice to be like, you don't need to scam people, like to be your own boss. Like you can get a job somewhere else, or you can work remotely, or you can actually, learn a skill and be a freelancer or be a writer. Like there's other ways that you can actually do this. that you don't need to scam people. So
Yeah.
that's the only thing that I'm kind of like, this was nice in this world. Like everyone was in an MLM,
Hmm.
or everyone knows someone who got hit by an MLM, and I'm like,
Hmm.
oh, these are my friends.
Right. Yeah. Because, like, I mean, it does, like, I feel like it's trying to give this message of like, oh, always look into what you read, be careful for what you sign up for and
Yeah.
stuff. And it's like, yeah, like, I, yeah.
Yeah.
And the thing is that I get it is like, I'm constantly bombarded with these things of like, be your own boss, blah blah blah, and I'm always looking at them, and so then my algorithm is continually, you know what I mean? So it's like, oh, you have to like, we're all so weak, and we all feel like we don't have freedom, and so MLMs are gonna like take advantage of that.
Yeah. There are other things you can do to get freedom. Doesn't MLMs are not the answer. Like
Or
there
admit freedom isn't free. We don't. None of
freedom
us are
isn't
free.
free. And like honestly, and like it's okay. I think it's acceptance like where you are, and like
Mm-hmm.
you're like, okay, like what do I need to do like to get to that place? I ended up doing I had a career in my 20s and I ended up leaving that in my when I was 32. And I spent about 5 years and I was like, I'm gonna be my own boss. And I
Mm-hmm.
spent most of those 5 years temping,
Mm-hmm.
like just being a temp in New York and like just jumping around jobs and quitting because the vibes were off and all these different things. And so I stumbled upon my job, like the one that I did about 5 years ago. But I started this job with bare minimums. Like I just wanted to be in a location that I wanted to, a salary that I wanted to, and stuff like that. I was like, I don't care what exactly I was gonna do. And like it's funny enough, sometimes it happens, and I ended up achieving location freedom and time freedom after years in the pandemic and all those different things. But it's funny, like life doesn't always happen the way you imagine to be, but you just
Mm-hmm.
have to take chances and just follow whatever guidance you have to take those next steps, whatever that's going to be.
Mm-hmm.
Like you
Mm-hmm.
can accomplish time, location, freedom, whatever freedom it is, with like just understanding who you are and like what you wanted to do and what your
Mm-hmm.
values are and how
Yeah.
you want to spend your time.
Exactly. And what freedom is to you. What does
Yeah.
freedom mean to you? And then go from there. But don't let someone selling you, who's like selling you protein packets, tell you what freedom is.
Or someone telling you on the internet like you need a coach and you need a coach, like someone is like you
Yes.
need to invest in like $10,000 coach so you can be a coach as another coach, or you're gonna need a business coach to just do a business and stuff like that. Like you don't need that. You All that information is available on YouTube. I cannot tell
Mm-hmm.
you how many times I've found the information on YouTube. You can find it. Yes, it's going to take you a little bit of time, but you know what? You need that little bit of time to understand it. There's no shortcuts. They're
Mm-hmm.
telling you like, I'm gonna give you the shortcut of like what it's been 10 years. Like, no, sometimes you need those 10 years to get to where you are.
Yeah.
Because like
I think it's society's fault that we all live in a world where we feel this pressure to get what we want right now.
yeah,
And I blame I don't know who I
Amazon.
blame. Amazon. It's Amazon's fault. It's Christianity's fault. I don't know. But I blame
Yeah.
everyone.
Yeah, it's an Amazon fault because it tells you 2 day shipping. It's
Yeah.
Christianity fault because it's like blah blah blah. It's all this shit. But like
Yeah.
honestly, like there's sometimes you just need the time to just sit with it and understand
Hmm.
and make mistakes. And those
Hmm.
mistakes are not forever. It's
Hmm.
not a failure. It's like not anything. You just have to keep doing this. Don't believe the hype of like some self-help telling you need to just do more personal development or your mindset is wrong. Like none of that shit is true. Go to therapy. If you have good insurance, go to therapy. If you don't have good insurance, there's some extra therapy in other places, but go see someone who's a licensed, who went to school and
Hmm.
practiced and has a license to do this. Not don't go someone who's like, I'm just sober 2 weeks ago and I'm gonna help other people be sober.
Hmm.
Like
Yeah.
kind of like that you're really early on, you're like, no, you're not meant to. Like I sure at the beginning of the shows, I was like, I was in recovery and I was like 2 years and I was like, I'm gonna help others kill recovery. And I'm like, yeah, no. I'm
Yeah. It's
15 years in it now. I'm like, hell not. No way.
like I got diagnosed with ADHD less than a year ago. And so to like trying to understand it. And I was like
Yeah.
following all of these like content creators on ADHD, and it's helped me. But now I'm getting stuff of like, be an ADHD coach. And it's like, I don't even know what I'm doing with it. Like, you help others. It's like, I'm not even able to help myself. And so then it's like, oh, if I wanted to do like coaching, is it going to be like people who are like me coaching
Yeah, because
me?
that's the whole idea of
That's a
coaching is that you
nightmare.
you do someone who's like a month before you are, or like
Right.
6 months or a year before you were when you were
Hmm.
started, and you can get to know that person, understand that person, and heal that problem. I
Yeah.
personally do not want to heal anyone's problem. I do not want to heal anyone's trauma. I don't want to heal
Hmm.
anyone's shitload of crap. My goal in life is entertain. So I
Hmm.
do things that are entertainable. Like I read romance, I write about romance, I watch Turkish soaps, I talk about Turkish soaps. Like I
Hmm.
don't do anything that's traumatic
Right.
or that is life or death or that is going to cause someone to just feel like they're shit or it's
Hmm.
going to be worse off from my like what I provide to this world.
Yeah.
But to get to that point, you kind of have to like let go of like the ego and let go of like what everyone experts in the internet and TikTok and YouTube and Instagram tells you. Um,
Exactly.
that
Yeah.
they're like, now we got to sell this. Now you got to do a digital product about so and so this. Now you got to do a digital course about like how did you fix this problem because it's
Hmm.
so necessary. And then you're gonna have like $1 million.
Yeah. Yeah. We just need to disconnect, man. It's an interesting time to be alive.
It is.
It's an interesting time to be alive. For me, it's an interesting time to be unemployed slash on strike.
Yeah. You're just fun employed. That's how I call it. Those series of times that I was unemployed, I was fun employed.
That's how I like to see it. And I'm like trying, I think it's so hard. Well, like, I think, like, you know, it's really hard for me not to beat down on myself about every moment that I'm not making money, not,
Yeah.
or that I'm not employed or I'm not like doing something when, you know what I mean? And it's like, oh, and I think companies, like, I think everyone's like that. I think we're ingrained to feel like that. And it's like, oh, okay.
I think it's the other part is like letting go of the identity that the
Hmm.
job is gonna define who you are.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like it's just unemployed, employed, blah blah blah. What do you do? What you don't do? It's like it's not your identity. It's not. It doesn't make you who you are. Your essence is who you are. I think, but we
Hmm.
live in America that everyone's like, what do you do? How do you spend your time? What do you do? How do you spend your money? Why? Well, it's so like like outside of who you are. Then the reality
Hmm.
is like, but that's not who I am. Like how I
Yeah.
spend my time doesn't make any difference. Like how I do like whether I kill people on the side.
I'm an
I
assassin.
don't. It's a total
That's just a hobby.
it's all
Yeah.
sarcasm. We're not doing that. But like it's not who you are. Like it's not
Yeah.
it doesn't make you, and it doesn't mean that you need to be happy about it. It just like you just accept it. Like you're just
Yeah.
like, this is where I am. Like, I'm fun employed. Or I
Yeah.
have a job that I do this and I don't love it, but that's what pays the bills.
Yeah. Because there is like this common thing. Like sometimes I'm like, oh, I wish I just had one job. So then when I'm in a social situation and someone's like, what do you do? I can just say, I do XYZ and then not have to continue the interaction, explain myself more. You know what I mean? And it's like, I think that's like just like we just want to be able to like give everyone our log lines in an easy way and then like continue being our robot human beings that we are, and it's just like all for convenience.
I honestly, I stopped talking. I think I started talking about the current day job that I have. I for a long time call it a day job. I didn't talk
Hmm.
about it. I think I came out of the day job when I went to a conference and I talked to you guys about it. I was like,
Hmm.
oh, like this is. I happened to be in a conference
Hmm.
because for a long time I just did not talk about it. I was like, I chose not to talk about what I was doing.
Yeah.
Like that was a very conscious choice. It was a very revolutionary at that point of like not saying what I was doing. I was like, no, it doesn't matter. I'll talk about my interests. I'll be like, oh, I'm doing a podcast, but even that is still play down. And I'm not saying like that's the way to go. It's just like that's how I approach it, to no longer be identifying it. And it's
Hmm.
still like it's not better, it's not worse off. It's just like I think there's an expectation that you should have something to do, but you're like in a market. Like I was in New York, and the expectation was like, you can tell them what you do one thing, but they're like, but what else do you do? Like
Yeah.
you also have like five other side hustles because we all have side hustles. And the
Exactly.
expectation
Yeah.
of like, what creative projects do you do? How do you
Yeah.
engage your art? And how do you do this? And it's like, it gets exhausting. I just
It
want to
does.
coexist by watching TV and reading romance.
Yeah. And it's like also, and if you do multiple things, then people are going to be like, oh, good. Won't that person shut up and be a normal person? You know what I mean? Like when I
Yeah.
would like, when I was like, I'm like, oh, I walk dog. Well, I mean, I act and I write, but I also walk dogs and I do this and I do that, and I'm just like, I hear myself and I'm like, I need to shut up. And then I'm like, I know they're thinking I need to shut up. And it's like, everyone just needs to shut up. That's why, like, I appreciate what you do because, like, your like what's read next was so important to you, and making content was so important to you, and you were just like
Mhm.
that. I don't know, like it takes. I admire that. I admire that decision that you made about, like, even if you're not getting paid for something, it's still like that
It's so
doesn't.
neat.
Yeah.
But for a long time, like I've finally come to terms. It was like it's just what I do. It's a creative pursuit. It's like I'm not chasing the big thing. I'm not trying to fit into your mold of who I should be. I'm just trying
Hmm.
to just live, coexist in my life. And so
Yeah.
the way I choose to pursue it is like, some days there's episodes, some days there's no episodes, some days I do, some days I don't. I work really hard to get to where I am, and I understand that. And it wasn't done overnight.
Hmm.
But it's accepting that I I can pursue creativity in my own terms.
Yeah.
And that's where I'm my own boss. I get to choose when shit goes on and when it doesn't go on.
Hmm.
I am my own boss in that space. And then I have
Yeah.
my own bosses that I get to counsel because bless their heart, they're great.
Yeah. That's where I think society, like, that's where I think we're headed, is like, oh,
Yeah.
like, we are our own boss, even though it probably doesn't look like that in terms of
Yeah.
the IRS.
Yeah. No, I don't. The IRS owes me money.
Yeah.
I'm at a loss. Like
Yeah.
we're still at a loss. Like
Well, speaking of where you are now, tell us where we can find you, what you're working on right now. Promote yourself, plug yourself, do the whole shebang.
so I do have a blog called whattoreadnextblog.com. There's a podcast. The podcast is still going on. There are episodes. It comes and goes, but there's 700 episodes for you to binge on. So if
They're
you ever
great.
need an
Yeah.
episode, there's plenty of those. Even though the new episodes may go away for a little bit. But I do have a blog, and if you're looking for romance recommendations for all those popular romance books that you see on Amazon, you're probably going to see a list to tell you what to read next after those books. And so that's what I do. I also started a Turkish TV obsessed podcast, and it's a recap of Turkish soaps. So if you don't know what Turkish soaps are, it's basically like K dramas, but super tropey, longer episodes, and super tropey, and they're set in Turkey. So you can watch them pirated. Well, some of them are Netflix now because thanks to the writer strike,
Hmm.
Netflix had to acquire international drama. So
Yeah.
there are some Netflix, there's some movies or some content there, but you can also watch them pirated in YouTube and Daily Motion. And so right now we're rewatching Love is in the Air, which is an enemies to lovers fake engagement that we think the hero is abusive, and so we hate watch the hero, but we love all the side characters, so we're having fun hate watching and stuff like that. There's like we at one point we thought there was an architectural mafia plot that's going on.
Architectural mafia. I'm into
Yes.
it. I'm into it.
So it's a really fun soap that we're watching, so we're dedicated to it. So we're doing recuts every week until we're done with that soap, and then we'll do it. But we have a Substack, and we'll do some bonus context in the Substack. So you can go to turkishtvobsessed.com. The podcast will be delivered. Yeah. So it's all Turkish TV.
Cool. Well, Laura, thank you so much for being a guest. And listen, like, again, if you want to be, listen, I bought $400 worth of aloe vera products. I need to sell them for retail price. So if we can,
we can do a little. Can you recruit me in your team, and then I
Exactly. I want to be your grandmother and you could be your own boss, which is what I think I've gotten from this.
I can get you somebody else on the team. We can build this up. We can build it, and we can do an earned trip to Vegas.
Yes. For links to purchase today's book, you can check out the show notes or visit the episode page at tstlpodcast.com. You can also check out the awesome synopsis that I wrote on the episode page. Too Stupid to Live is part of the Frolic Podcast Network. For more podcasts you'll love, visit frolic.media/podcasts. Thank you so much for listening and have a great rest of your day.
When it comes to weight loss, no two people are the same. That's why Noom builds personalized plans based on your unique psychology and biology. Take Brittany. After years of unsustainable diets, Noom helped her lose 20 pounds and keep it off.
I was definitely in a yo-yo cycle for years of just losing weight, gaining weight, and it was exhausting.
And Stephanie. She's a former D1 athlete who knew she couldn't outtrain her diet, and she lost 38 pounds.
My relationship to food before Noom was never consistent.
And Evan, he can't stand salads, but he still lost 50 pounds with Noom.
I never really was a salad guy. That's just not who I am. Even through the pickiness, Noom taught me that building better habits builds a healthier lifestyle. I'm not doing this to get to a number. I'm doing this to feel better.
Get your personalized plan today at Noom.com. Real Noom users compensated to provide their story. In 4 weeks, the typical Noom user can expect to lose 1 to 2 pounds per week. Individual results may vary.